Welcome back to the channel. If you want the coolest console around, you're going to have to pick up the Xbox Series X. The fine folks at Tom's Hardware said, quote, "We have detailed thermal and noise measurements for the latest revision of the PlayStation 5, so it was only a matter of time before we found an Xbox Series X, ran similar tests, and compared the results. Once we bought a brand new Series X, we broke it apart, installed a bunch of sensors, and didn't lose any time." So I will link this article in the description below. It is a very lengthy article. They go through step by step all of the different tests that they do, all of the different situations that they put the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 in, the different games. They show power consumption, heat at different times, and essentially, when all is said and done, the Xbox Series X is the coolest console around. Not only that, but it is much more quiet than the PlayStation 5 as well. What I found really interesting is the amount of money Microsoft spent to make sure that the Xbox Series X was very heat sensitive, was very cool. They say, quote, "The Xbox Series X uses a particular thermal interface to maintain contact between the heatsink and parts that need cooling, called T-Putty 607. The gap filler material," I can do things with that sentence, "is crazy expensive, $104 for a 30cc syringe." So they definitely spared no expense when it came to making sure that the Xbox Series X ran very cool. During the Xbox Series X test sessions, the ambient temperature was 22 to 23 degrees Celsius, while in the PlayStation 5 measurements, the ambient temperature was 27.9 degrees Celsius. The Xbox Series X isn't just cooler, it's also quieter. And after all of the tests that they did, the Xbox Series X came out at 15.5 decibels, while the PlayStation 5 came in at a whopping 25.9 decibels. Another interesting take in this test was that the APU on the Xbox runs hotter than the PlayStation 5, despite lower power consumptions overall and lower ambient temperature during all tests, primarily because of the more relaxed fan speed profile, and secondarily because it uses plain thermal paste, while the PS5 uses a more exotic solution, liquid metal. But even here, the Xbox Series X manages to come out on top. In summary, they say, quote, "The bottom line is that the Xbox Series X runs hotter on its SoC, but it makes noticeably less noise and it has smaller dimensions. The RAM runs cooler on the Xbox as well." So all in all these tests, the Xbox Series X came out on top. Whether or not it is cooler, whether or not it is quieter, it is a fantastic design, and Microsoft learned a lot coming from that Xbox 360 and Red Ring of Death era, and ever since then, their systems mostly have been the most quiet on the market, and now they're the best in terms of cooling and power consumption as well. Now, that's not to say that the PlayStation 5 isn't a fantastic system, but I think it's a testament to Microsoft and Xbox learning how to do things and do them well, and cramming all of that technology into essentially a tiny square box and having it come out being the quietest and the coolest is an amazing accomplishment. Let me know what you think in the comments section below about the Xbox Series X coming out on top. Think about sharing this video out on your favorite social media platform of choice. Subscribe to the channel. At the very least, hit that like button. It'll help me grow the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.